salary negotiation can feel like a high-stakes game of cards. And this can cause a lot of anxiety because it can feel excessively risky and overly complicated. The worst part of it is, as a job seeker, you only play this game once every few years when you change jobs. But the recruiter has much more practice. With my experience as a corporate recruiter, I can show you which cards the other players are holding. And in fact, I can show you how to all play on the same team so that you're guaranteed to win. Psst. Let's just start with the big secret. The trick that I've learned with my years of experience as a corporate recruiter. The hiring managers, recruiters, and the company that you're interviewing at, they're not working against you. They're not interested in hiring people at the lowest price possible. What they do want is to make you an offer that matches your experience relative to the peers in your industry. In the high-stakes card game, it's like knowing the recruiter is playing on your team, and they don't win unless you accept an offer. And the best win for them is to have you accept an offer that is a great starting point for a long-term relationship. You don't need to be very worried that they're trying to take advantage of you. However, you do need to be the number one advocate for your own interests. Now, this brings us to the issue of self-worth. It's very easy to lose sight of your value while going through the interview and job search process. Submitting yourself to that kind of rejection makes it very easy to become disheartened. As a career consultant, I've seen that it takes a serious amount of positive input to stay pumped. So lean on your friends and your family for positive input, but most importantly, make sure that you keep yourself pumped and positive. A positive attitude will keep you motivated to put more work into your job search process. It'll make you more effective when you do that work, and it will also reduce the anxiety that comes with the job search process. When it comes time for salary negotiation, I find that most job seekers are already worn down, and they're ready to settle. Now that you're in the right frame of mind, my suggestion for salary negotiation strategy is to keep it simple. Take advantage of just a few powerful pieces of leverage that you have. Like a card game, you should stack your hand. Take advantage of having more cards and focus on using your best cards. The first major piece of leverage that you have in the negotiation is information about compensation. You should spend a fair amount of time researching what your target compensation is going to look like. Now, to start, I would look at your most recent compensation figures, whether that be for your current job or your most recent job. That's a great place to begin. You should also do research online on a website like Glassdoor.com. Now, this is a website that allows individuals to self-report what their compensation looks like at their current company. Now, all of this information should be taken with a grain of salt. It is definitely not 100% accurate, but with enough people reporting, you can at least get a guideline for where compensation falls for the positions that you're interviewing for. Another thing to remember is that you can look at your competitors within that space as well. You don't need to only look at the company that you're interviewing for. These competitors will give you a good sense of what compensation looks like across the industry. The other source of information is the recruiter themselves. Ask them what the salary range is for the position that you're interviewing for. Now, they may not share that information, but they do have motivation to do so. There is a trend within the legal system that says in some states, they in fact have to share that information. The second major piece of leverage in the negotiation is to build out a robust pipeline of other opportunities. This way, you're not putting all of your eggs in one basket. I don't know what eggs have to do with cards, but here we are. I know that this is something that's easier said than done, but if you're having trouble building out a robust pipeline of other opportunities, check the links in the description below. They can help. What I find is that when a job seeker reaches the offer portion of the process, they've completely given up on applying for other positions. I highly suggest that you continue to keep up your job search efforts the entire way through the process until you accept an offer. Having multiple opportunities in play will allow you to ask for what you're worth and be comfortable walking away because you have a safety net. You can fall back on those other opportunities. It also allows you to leverage competing offers. The third major piece of leverage is to understand that the employer has spent a lot of resources to identify you as a good candidate and to have you go through the interview process. By the time you reach the offer stage, they understand that you bring considerable value to their organization. They will not want to walk away from negotiations unless they have a very good reason. Now that you have all your most important cards in hand, it's time to play them. And the most important thing you can do when you receive the initial offer is to always ask for more. The overwhelming majority of companies budget for an increase after the initial offer. This allows them the flexibility to close more offers, but you can't get this increase unless you ask for it. Also keep in mind that the employer is looking for individuals who can professionally defend their own interests. This way they'll be able to defend the interests of the company as an employee. A great response to the initial offer shows interest and allows the recruiter to reconsider. It should sound something like, "I'm very excited about this opportunity, but I thought the compensation would be higher. I'll definitely need to discuss with my family. Can you find out if there's any flexibility in terms of compensation?" With a response like this, at the worst, the recruiter won't come back with a higher offer. And you can decide at that point whether it's worth it to push back for a higher number. Finally, don't worry too much about what you're not getting. It isn't always best to be overpaid, and the best way to ensure long-term income potential is to perform well once you start your new job, to earn raises and promotions. That's all for this video. If you need more help with your job search, you can find more free articles and videos at nextstepjobsearch.com.